Welcome to Revenue Marketing Television, the CMO Insight Series. I am your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of the Pedowitz Group. Today, really thrilled to have with us Martin Mongiello, who is the Chief Marketing Officer and General Manager for the U.S. Presidential Culinary Museum, the U.S. Presidential Service Center, and the Inn of the Patriots. Martin has worked with, I think, 4 or 5 presidents over the
Yeah,
last 20 or 30 years. Fascinating background. Welcome to the show.
thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, glad to be here.
So, politics aside, how does one find themselves into some of the amazing experiences that you have had?
Honestly, the biggest thing I can tell people is kind of silly when opportunity knocks. I actually always answer the door, and I answer immediately, and I don't close doors, Jeff, to where it's impossible to reach me, and that is the biggest impediment to growth I've seen in marketing worldwide. It is sometimes impossible to reach specific humans. I'm just happen to be very reachable. So anybody can Roger me up on 15 different social engines. I still answer the phone, and I do not allow humans to answer my email or rifle through my mail. So I'm very reachable, and when someone calls, I actually answer. So all these opportunities to be the general manager for the Camp David Resort, the most famous resort in the Earth's history, being a White House chef, doing state dinners like last night for France, living in Europe for many years, living in Asia for many years, studying 9 languages. I just answer the call, answer the door, answer the phone.
So, what was on the menu last night?
Last night was, of course, rack of lamb, which is very popular. It's very safe in the White House. People that don't like beef or who don't like chicken, we always traditionally stick with lamb for the state dinners. It's a very safe, yeah, safe entree.
Well, based on all the news reports, looks like it went well.
It,
So,
it, it did, yeah.
but we this interview channel isn't though about the White House specifically. It's about really about marketing, and so your role as a CMO, not just a chef. So tell us about some of the challenges as well as opportunities you face in running all these different institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm challenged just as much as anyone else with the transition to too much digital and removal of using papyrus on Earth is a mistake classically. People who stop using paper, what it's like to come in the morning, and I'm running a museum now. It has gift shops and spa services. I'm a classic hotelier, handling about 9 hotels on Earth right now on 3 continents. And so sometimes I just see, 3 to 400 emails when you come in, and you have to mark them as spam and block them, and you waste and burn a lot of time. And I told a call yesterday, you have to stop relying on email and your throat for marketing contact. You can't just do that. And the lady was calling me, so I told her honestly, you might want to shift some of your efforts back to papyrus. Um, Postcards are great, greeting cards are great. I also do handwritten letters with blue ball pen. I have a whole methodology of touching somebody as many as 20 times, Jeff, to make contact and to get the contract or to attain a client. So these are some of the biggest challenges is just honestly email overload and social media advertising overload. It cannot be the methodologies that marketers use only to attain a client or to keep clients or to develop sales.
So, from what I'm hearing from you, though, is kind of some contrarian marketing, a little bit more old school, just really focused on relationship building, one letter at a time, one call at a time, and just trying to get to know your customers. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely, and I mean, look at some of the studies in the Wall Street Journal recently, as recent as 2 weeks ago. A couple of people, Costco, Sam's Club, Best Buy, they turned off the printing of the flyers that are inside the newspapers. They turned them off for like 2 months. Sales, when it reached the 30% downtick, they called them back and said, we need to turn the papyrus back on again. This is not working. We listened to these very young folks and we went all digital, okay, which is a massive mistake in marketing. On Earth, I'm 52 right now, okay? And so I actually was around when you were around. I think my first computer was in 1976. My dad brought home a Texas Instruments TI 99 4A. I started building computers. I started programming. I helped build the web, invent everything that we're using today. At this point, I'm a Jedi Master in marketing, and I'm teaching Padawans how to become a Jedi Knight if they would like to, like Ren in Star Wars. I see people make mistakes, clients of mine sometimes for hotel systems and chains. They will hire a human that is too young, doesn't have enough experience on Earth, and they go straight for digital and they'll flood it down with 98% of the entire budget into digital. So, big mistake, I would say.
Yeah, we actually have several hotel brands and chains as clients, and just and they're high end. So just seeing what they do to really focus on the experience, the brand. There is a lot, not just digital, but there is a lot of human touch, personal relationship building that goes along with just the standard marketing reaches. So because you run so many different hotels though on all these different continents, how do you maintain that schedule? And I guess where's the mix? I mean, how are you using technology to help you to reach some of these people, and what are some of the methods that you're employing?
Sure. So, I mean, a lot of the MarTech that we're using is typical. We have every social channel. We are listed presently in the top 3% of hotels on Earth. So that type of award structure is difficult to attain, I would say, to be in the top 3%. And so if you check our reviews, you'll see 4.7, 4.8. Our awards are up into the stratos where you need oxygen bottles to breathe. You can't just go up there by yourself. And so that's one of our KPIs is if you fall below 4.7, I'm actually calling you to discuss with you. I generally don't talk to people. I talk with them to try and figure out what are we doing that's wrong, what's happening. But that's a huge KPI for us is 4.7 or below is we need to fly into Budapest, we need to fly to China, we need to figure out what is wrong in Hong Kong, what is happening. So that's a nice milestone for us. Things that we're doing, you could imagine, yeah, all the social media channels, you know, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. We do a lot of advertising. We tend to own a lot of websites that we will create, like on LinkedIn. We'll go into an area and ramp up sites. Okay, they're called groups on LinkedIn, and surround that area demographically or psychographically. On Facebook, the same thing. We may actually create, buy, or have up to a dozen websites in and around a geographic region where the hotel or the client is, and through about 30 to 60,000 fans just on Facebook around that property, will consistently drive traffic and SEO and SEM through those methodologies. Those are a lot of clickables that people are doing, so we think having several Facebook sites around a client is better than just having a Facebook site for the client. And we're kind of weird, Jeff. We actually answer and comment and get interactivity going on. So we'll ask a question on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, and then we'll answer every single human that puts a comment in there. We will, even if they make a comment that's not a question, we will make a comment back to them to begin to create that actual genuine relationship where the client is really listening and paying attention and building a relationship. All too often you see, millions of comments and the company does not speak with the people who are making the comments, and they'll say, well, it's 400 per day. I mean, how could you possibly? Hey, get on it. You got to do that.
Otherwise, not don't be there.
Yeah. So
So
it's that genuine contact, I think, is super, super important. And the people who are really successful, like one of our friends in Scotland at Edinburgh with a jewelry company, just on the handheld phone, that gentleman, I don't care what continent he's on, that particular client will answer 80 comments per day from Poland to it doesn't matter, South America.
wow.
And you know, that's how he gets to at the end of the week. He's answered 500 different people about the jewelry, but not one single one of them is going by. And he's just one human who's flying on an airplane with his wife.
But he's present. He's still present. He's present digitally, and he's
Yes.
working on creating and managing those real relationships.
Yes.
So, um, so you, I mean, it's really just interesting, both your background as a chef and then also as a hoteler and a general manager. I mean, how do you manage all those roles?
Oh, it's pretty easy because, I mean, I've been using artificial intelligence for a long time. I'm a huge believer in it. You've got to automate things. If you're not doing three things at one time 10 years ago, you're so far behind the power curve in 2018 on Earth. You're just starting to learn how to do like two things at one time. And you have to have robots that do a lot of work for you. So I'd like to highlight a robot team today for the benefit of the viewers, because that's why people pay attention to these things and watch them, is they don't want to hear somebody just run their mouth and drool all over their pant leg. You know, they would actually like to get, like, can I get a nugget of gold today? I want a nugget of gold, something I can take away from this and actually go and employ in my business and make a couple more bucks. Otherwise, I'm turning this stupid interview thing off now. Okay.
All
Um,
right, you've teased it now. You've set it up. So now of course, you got to deliver. So what you got?
yeah, I'm very focused on greed oriented behavior. Most of the humans are greed focused. If and people think, oh, well, that's a sin. Did he just mention greed? Yes, I did. I mean, people are looking to make money to buy books for their kids or the latest toy or My Little Pony for your granddaughter. One of the best things that I have ever worked with for paper, contact with paper, is a program called Send Out Cards. Okay, and I'm sendoutcards.com/35513. So this is a team of robots that actually will take your handwriting and digitize every letter for you. Okay, so all 26 letters and then a couple of characters. And I will actually go online and design one card of something I want to do. And right now we have an exhibit on President Nixon, so we have a brand new postcard for that. And you can go in there and change the field to where it says Dear Access Database, first name. And you can have it say, hope things are going great in your Access Database, add town here. Hope things are going great in Sheboygan. Just wanted to invite you to come back again and experience the brand new Nixon exhibit and try some of the Nixon ketchup. He loved eating it on cottage cheese in the Oval Office. Be sure to come and see the exhibit and everything we have to offer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Um, those robots will go crazy for about 4 to 5 days with our mailing list, doing a full aqueous bleed to the edge, full color postcard. You flip it around on the back. It's got everything I mentioned, dear, first name, blah, blah, blah. It does the address, it does the stamp. It will send out whatever you're sending out to your mailing list. 20, 70, 150,000 mailing. It sends them out. Okay, it does that for you. You're actually only going on to design one card. You're done in about 30 minutes. Or if you're doing your own graphic design like I do, maybe you're taking like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay. Um, that is a huge benefit to have a robot army do all that for you. And yes, through segmentation, we have different mailing lists, okay, in there of who we want to talk to, contact, touch, send a card to. It could be greeting cards, 2 panel. We have 2 panel like this. We have big cards. Sometimes we send out monster cards, okay? It will do that across 10, 100, 200,000, and mail it all out for you. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you an honest question. How many greeting cards are you getting a week?
Oh, geez, well, aside from my great aunts and my some cousins, they're probably zero. I probably get one a quarter. I'll get some bulk mailer or gimmick that a company's trying to do, which I always open because I always find it interesting. But yeah, it's rare. And we actually do encourage our clients to do some contrarian marketing because really email today is the direct mail of yesterday, and then like anything else, if you overuse the channel, it's not going to be effective. So people respond in a lot of different ways, right? So you have to experiment with different things, but just your main message throughout this whole thing on authenticity, on being genuine, on building relationships regardless of the channel, I think that really came through. Very easy to see why you've been so successful in your career.
Yes.
I can't believe that 15 minutes have gone by so fast. What a fascinating person you are, and your career. So, so out of all your resorts, so we'll give you a plug here. So, for us business travelers in the United States, which one should we hit?
Oh, definitely go to theennofthepatriots.com. This is our main one here in the United States, and we call this a night at the museum. So, very rare that a person would be able to sleep inside of a museum all night long, like Ben Stiller. But here we have the United States Presidential Culinary Museum.
Is that in D.C.?
No, this is inside this mansion in a town called Grover, North Carolina. It's named after Grover Cleveland, the president.
Okay. All right. We will absolutely do that. Martin, thank you so much for being on the show. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
Take
you.
care, buddy.